Well, Canada's inflation rate dropped significantly in April. It's now at 1.7%, which is down from 2.3 in March. CTV National News reporter Colton Praill joins us with more on this morning. So, Colton, what does this report tell us?
Big drop, and it's largely thanks to, Kent, the carbon tax removal. So this is a one-time thing. You're not going to see inflation slow like this for the next few months. This is really the impact of the consumer carbon tax coming off, and really it's the impact of gasoline prices plummeting. If you look at energy as a whole, it dropped 12, almost 13% in this last month's data. Gas prices, just gasoline, dropped 18%, natural gas 14%. I mean, these are the kinds of massive swings that drag that number down. But like I said, this is a one-time thing. You can't take the carbon tax off every month. And so while this is going to continue on as we're looking at month to month, 2025 to 2024, long term, you're still going to see inflation going up. You're still going to see prices going up. And so for consumers, even though the overall number is slowing, this is still not necessarily going to have the biggest impact to your life. Yes, you're saving on gas, but things like groceries are going up. The price of fresh and frozen beef is up almost 16% year over year. You look at the cost of fresh fruit and vegetables. Those are both up 3 to 4%. Fruit, you compare that to last month, it was only about 1%. These are the kinds of everyday staples that are increasing, that's slowing down some of the potential gains we could have seen as a result of axing the carbon tax. And so what you're left with is a situation where, yes, fuel is much cheaper, but the everyday staples that you're relying on are actually part of some of the fastest growing inflation in the country, especially things like coffee and tea, and that's going to be something that consumers feel in their wallet every day.
Now, this all happens with the backdrop of tariffs as well. Do we expect that to also accelerate things up?
Yeah, that is always going to have an impact. There is, on a larger scale, you're likely seeing some of the impact of tariffs with regards to fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, things like that we typically tend to import. But, that is also an opportunity where consumers do have a little bit more leeway. They can avoid tariffs if they choose to, if they're doing their shopping with a attentive eye and particularly paying attention to that. But there is a caveat from Stats Canada in all of this data that absolutely this is going to be wildly impacted by tariffs, not just this month, but over the coming months as these remain in place until eventually this trade dispute is resolved. And then, fluctuating out of that, there's going to be some intricacies to the data. It's going to look a little different than it would in a normal year before eventually settling back into the kind of steady inflation that we would expect around that 2% margin.
Okay. Colton, thank you.
Anytime.